Okay, well, here we go. Ready or not, it's the intuitive call for November 2023. And wowza, I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like my life is flipping upside down here. So we're going to talk about this because it seems like I did the reading, I don't know, a couple days ago. And even since then, I feel like some other things have sort of unfolded. So I'm getting a little bit more information as we go. So let's just get started. So the title for this month's forecast was Circling. And the feeling I got when I touched into the energy was just like pieces of a puzzle just floating around my head, waiting to try and come together. And then I also got the feeling of, if you've ever been in an airplane when we didn't have authorization to land. And so you're circling and circling. And that's the feeling that I got was it's just, we're not able to land yet. Like the pieces are floating, the plane is circling, and nothing is landing right now. But so we're in a holding pattern. And again, if you've ever, been on a plane when that's happening, there's a level of anxiety because you don't really know when you're going to get the go ahead to land. You feel like you're so close and yet you're so far, like you just can't get there. And, if you've been on a long flight, really all you want to do is get out of that plane and stretch your legs. And so all of that was kind of what I was feeling as I touched into this month's energy is like, basically bottom line, are we there yet? It's like, can we land? Can we get on with things? So the reason that I'm feeling that way is because when you're waiting like that, it's just this pressure building. And so that's what I think is really going on is this feeling of pressure building and building. And anybody who's been in any of my shift system programs or anything else, we always talk about the value of pressure in terms of transformational change. You really need that pressure to build for something to kind of push us through to the other side. So, in a group that I used to be a part of, one of the teachers would say, welcome pressure. And that's sort of, the stance that we have to take here is like, we just need to welcome it or hold a space for it. But I don't know about anybody else, but I definitely am feeling that pressure of something that wants to change. So in fact, personal story, I got a tarot card reading on the weekend. And so the first card was where I'm at now. And so it was very nice. It was a 10 of Pentacles. It was abundance, very healthy, happy, everything working out. And then the next card was what's coming. And I got the death card. Okay. So that kind of tells you it's like the end of something, the start of something, really clear. This is it. Something is about to change or wanting to change and be very different. So of course, the death card does not mean I'm going to die. It just means a big change. And so I think that's, symbolic of what we're all kind of experiencing. So let's see what else. So, okay. So now that we know what's going on, what do we do about it? And I kind of got two different things for us for this month. One is, when you feel that pressure and it's building and it gets very uncomfortable, one thing we can do is sort of rise above it temporarily. So meditation is great, just sort of lift ourselves out of it and observe what's going on. What am I feeling? What am I thinking about? What are possibilities here? And we may not be able to see possibilities right now because I do feel like there's some sort of a veil that's just not making things available to us at the moment, but we can temporarily rise up out of the pressure and, find some peace there. And then the opposite of that is to go into the pressure. So, I kind of experimented with that after I did the reading and to just, instead of trying to escape it, just like sit quietly and breathe into it and allow yourself to just be in the pressure and feel it and welcome it and allow it to be around you and not be frightened by it, but to kind of stand in it and own it. Okay, this is pressure. This is change wanting to happen. This is some sort of transformation that's wanting to take place in my life, in some area of my life, or in your whole life, whatever. This is some sort of change that's wanting to take place, and let's not run from it. Let's stand in it and own it. So those are two different things that you can do this month to work with this energy, especially if it gets too intense. So kind of picture that second one is kind of like facing it, doing a face off or standoff, with change. It's like staring it down and saying, yes, okay, I know you're there and I know you want something. I'm in it. Let's do it. So I love that. And it does take warrior energy. And, I don't think you'd be here listening to these calls if you didn't have that warrior energy in you, because this is what we do, is deal with the unknown, deal with the pressure and change that wants to happen, listen to the impulses that come to us about our lives, and have the courage to make these changes. So, kudos to you. I'm sure you're doing your work, and I love that. Yeah, I guess that was the last thing that I said in the reading was, doing this work, it takes courage. It takes courage to wait out the pressure. It takes courage to just stand in it and wait. It takes courage and discipline. It takes courage to seek new answers, to be open to possibilities of something new. It takes courage to walk a new path. So all of this requires that warrior energy, that courageous energy. And I think, some of the courage comes from a sense of knowing and a sense of our discipline that we've been building and working with over time. And, like I said, up till today, for me, there was this veil sort of sitting there. And I realized just a little while ago that one of the things that was sort of distorting my vision of what was trying to happen was I had my timing wrong. So I was thinking about it in terms of right now, and realized that I think the changes that want to come are maybe a few months away. But it's something I need to start thinking about now. So that's something, if you're not getting a clear picture of what's wanting to change, maybe consider where the timing is. Once I kind of got the timing situated in the right place, what sort of opened up in my vision was almost like some things on my bucket list. I mean, I don't want to scare anybody. It's like I got the death card, now I'm working on my bucket list. That's not the idea. But there are things that I wanted to do in my life that I always thought I'll do later. And they're things that require a leap of faith, that require really letting go of things that I'm comfortable with, things that I'm familiar with. And so it was a little bit intimidating to see what the possibilities are that might be calling to me at this point in my life. But, I'm realizing it's like, if not now, when? This is the time for me to do this. And I think for me, I've kind of been there, done that with a lot of stuff in my life. And if I really want to live this authentic life, an interesting life, I need to take the risks and really have an adventure. And so maybe there's an adventure waiting for you as well. I hope so. And I hope you won't be afraid of it or intimidated by it, maybe a little bit, but I hope you still can find the courage to at least open your eyes and see what that might be, what might be calling to you. Because I really do feel like life is, almost like the words that come to me, life is begging for us to take some risks and make some changes. And I think that as we follow our hearts and make these changes, we cut a new path for a way of living and a way of being in the world. And that only can happen when we really listen from within and we lay a new foundation. We lay new possibilities for other people and for the world to be different. So you've been called. You've been called. If you're listening to this, I'm thinking you've been called So all we can do is we'll hold hands together and we'll take the leap together. So I hope you have a really amazing month. Gird up your loins. Let's face the music. Let's face the adventure that's calling to us, and I'll see you in December.